And now it's time for another edition of the 12th Man Fan Jam. With your host, the Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Magic Voice. This is the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. And welcome one and all to episode 306, the June is busting out all over 2015 edition of the 12th Man Fan Jam Show. The show made up of Seahawk fans from around the world, just like you, talking about your Seattle Seahawks. Over the next few moments we share together, we hope that you are entertained and enlightened as we discuss your NFC champion Seattle Seahawks. So sit back, relax, grab a desired beverage or scent of your choice, and remember, summer is a time for surf, sun, and Seahawks. As is the usual with every show, we are not alone. No, we are joined, like we are every episode, by the 12th Man Fan Jam Posse, a ragtag group of diehard Seahawk fans from around the world. First, my partner in crime, the yin to my yang. He's always bright and sunny. From merry old England, he is Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello, Moses. Hello, Moses. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Matt. How are you this evening?
Well, I bring good news and bad.
You don't say.
What a surprise.
Yeah. What is the good news?
Well, the good news is there's only 82 days, 22 hours, 25 minutes, and 50 seconds until kickoff.
That's fantastic. What's the bad news?
That there's still 82 days, 22 hours, 25 minutes, and 44 seconds till kickoff.
Brilliant, brilliant, Matt.
I know.
I know. Also brilliant from the state of Washington, our very own newshound. His 12th Man editorials can be found on the SeahawkSal.com website. He never forgets sunscreen for his head. You know him as Shadowhawk. We know him as Will. Hi, Will.
Sadly, that's not true. I usually sunburn my head at least once each year.
Oh, boo. Sorry.
But other than that, I'm fine.
Well, good, good. Glad to hear you back. Also back from the state of California, just up the road from 49er headquarters, our own man behind enemy lines. He enjoys walks on the beach and laughing at Niner fans while doing so. You know him as Zoran76. We know him as Statsman Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hey, everybody. And yes, the new average retirement age for 49ers is now 27 years old.
We can always count on Mark. Always count on Mark. And someone else we can always count on when we need someone to fill in, which we do this evening in the guest seat. His second appearance on the show from the lovely state of Washington as well. He never packs rice or roti for his picnics. He is none other than Tom. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the show again. Hi, Tom.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
How are you doing? It's good to hear you.
Good. The rice roti doesn't work out too well, so.
That's good, because it is the San Francisco treat, and that's not what we want to have. Yeah. So, the intros have been made. Let's get to the show. For those who've listened before, thank you for joining us again. For those who are listening for the first time, don't worry. We promise we will be gentle, but be careful. You might want to apply extra sunscreen. Show is run just like a real NFL football game. We have 4 quarters and even a halftime. First quarter section, we do news with our Shadowhawk Will. He gives us news of the NFL. Quarter 2, we're going to go over some Seahawk news and some contract discussions. At halftime, we have another rousing rendition of the 12th Man Fan Jam halftime trivia show, or game. The Seahawk-based trivia game that you, the listener and viewer, can play along with. And our 2-time defending champ in a row, Will he be able to defend his title from last show? Will, you up to the challenge?
Bring it.
All right. The second.
Okay, probably not, but I'll give it a shot.
We won't bring it, because if we bring it, we'll never get it back. But
Don't you have to have it first?
That's so true. You have to have it to bring it. The second half's going to be a little different because we don't have a game to talk about or anything. So I have 2 top 10 lists, kind of paying homage to fellow Hoosier David Letterman, who retired since the last time we were on. And then, of course, quarter 4 is Caption This Picture, with something new. We'll have the pictures to capture. Also, we have short 60-second rants by Shadowhawk Will and also Mark. So you want to listen to that between the first and second quarter and the third and fourth quarter. So before we start, we'd like to remind you to like, share, and subscribe on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Contact us on the thread right here or the comment section of this video for feedback. Email us at 12thmanfanjam@gmail.com. Tell us what you think, good or bad. Also on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. That's the letter C, Hawk Positivity. And please join our Facebook group, 12th Man Fan Jam Show. We have lots of good old discussion and fun on there. All of our shows and our outtakes are posted, and there's some good fun on there. So, let's get right to it in the first quarter with news. Yes, news from around the NFL while you were out working on that tan. Here's our 12th Man Fan Jam Newtown, Shadowhawk Will, with the news. What you got for us, Will?
Well, Moses, I hear that viral videos are really popular on this interwebs thing the kids are really into these days.
Are you talking about that World Wide Web thing?
Yeah, something to do with AOL and, I don't know, information superhighway, but...
Oh, that thing Al Gore created.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Well, there's a relatively new video up starring Shia LaBeouf, who has starred in the 3 Transformer movies and pretty much nothing else. It's a motivational video that is about 1 minute of Shia LaBeouf just sitting around yelling, "Do it! Do it!" Obviously trying to provoke people into doing things and not just waiting for their life to happen. However, the Chicago Bears have apparently taken this to heart. They posted their own version of this video, cutting LaBeouf's rant to where it appears that he is motivating them to pose for pictures. And the link to this video is on your screen right now. It's very interesting. It's not quite what I would use for motivation, but hey, whatever works. You know, something's got to motivate those Bears to finish third in the NFC North this year. Good for them.
Good for them. Hold on a second here. Here it is.
Do it!
Yeah, baby.
Just do it!
All right, I'm going to do it!
Don't let
Like,
that's
you
pretty
need
much
to
it.
shave, dude.
set tomorrow. So just do it!
All right!
Your dreams come true! Just do it!
Why must he yell so? Why is he so angry?
He needs a Schwarzenegger accent with that.
Just do it!
Do it. Get into the chopper.
Just
Well,
do it!
Maybe a Sean Connery accent. Just do it. Let's make your dreams come true.
But
Just do it.
his reality is just to do it very loudly and very obnoxiously, apparently.
I had upstairs neighbors like that once.
Yeah. Man. I tell you what, with the first day of class, I just got in a kid's face. Do it! Just do your homework!
I think you need to, Moses.
I might pull this inspirational video out and put it on my phone and just put it in their ears. Do it! Oh my God. I'm so inspired now, Will. That was an inspiring first story. What is your inspirational second story? Is it someone screaming, "Don't do it"?
Well, not quite, Moses, but it does concern the new Entourage movie that is either just come out or is about to come out. I don't know. I don't really.
It's now on video already? I was just, you know.
Direct to video, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
probably
know.
very soon.
But there are going to be several NFL players in this making cameos in this movie, including our own Russell Wilson. One player you will not be seeing in the new Entourage movie is Eli Manning, and you're not likely to in any future sequels either. Doug Ellen, the series creator, apparently wrote a part for Manning in this movie after the quarterback reached out to him to express an interest in appearing in it. But then Ellen says that he never heard back from Manning again. That particular part went to Tom Brady, and Doug Ellen decided to go public with his version of the events and his disgust with Manning, saying, quote, "I love the Giants so much, but if Russell Wilson was quarterback of the Giants, I would be a much happier person." When Manning was asked about this, he responded, "Whatever. I don't want to give it any more press than it already has. It's not bothering me. Whatever." When asked if he would watch the movie, Manning said, quote, "I don't think I'll see it. I'll pass."
So Manning's like 90% of the rest of the world, apparently.
I guess so.
Russell Wilson, a Giant. If he was a Giant, him and 95% of the rest of the NFL, I think, would feel the same way. If Russell Wilson was our quarterback, I'd be so much happier.
Yeah, but he's only 5'7"? He can't possibly be.
Yeah, I would love the irony of him going to a team named the Giants of all.
Yeah.
Except for the fact I wouldn't love him going anywhere, but that goes
Yeah.
without saying.
The kids dig that. That was a good one. The kids dig that one. Oh my God, yes. Him, Russell Wilson, a giant. Could Russell Wilson be a giant? That's pretty funny.
Kind of like Wes Walker.
Yeah.
Him neither.
Oh my God. So Manny was going to be an entourage, huh?
Well, apparently he wanted to, and then just sort of forgot about it.
Oh my God, that movie.
Kind of like his chance at any more Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, I've heard that movie's absolutely horrible. So I think he probably did a good move by not going. But what do I know? Nothing. Nothing.
At least if you go see Jurassic World, you get to see dinosaurs eating stupid people.
Yeah, really.
There's a good parody of that with Richard Sherman running around screaming a lot.
Yes, there is.
Anyone's seen
That was
That's quite good.
entertaining.
Well, yeah, Jurassic World could have I don't know. Who could we have from our football world in Jurassic World? We could have Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, I guess, would work for Jurassic World. Looking
Tom
for Goyle.
Sula.
Yeah.
An old fossil that someone's dug up.
The entire Niners team. With lots of them.
Well, it's not Jurassic World. That would actually be a movie of the TV show Lost.
That'd be Geriatric World.
Yeah, that'd be the movie Lost, I think.
Yeah. The Muppet Christmas Carol.
They could have T-Rex Ryan.
Oh, T-Rex Ryan!
Oh.
Yeah.
This is why we pay Mark the big bucks to be on this show, I tell you.
He's the absolute silent assassin. Nothing, and then it comes out, boom, home run.
Boom, have it.
Oh my God.
By my own admission, it is a lot of sharp Tillamook chatter, but it's something,
Oh, jeez.
It's always the quiet ones.
Yeah.
Mm.
Speaking of quiet ones, Will, what's your last story of this evening?
Well, ironically, it has to do with a player who is anything but quiet, namely Jets cornerback Antonio Cromartie, who was not just content with ripping Richard Sherman, but managed to get into a war of words with former teammate Kellen Winslow Jr., who, if you remember, had a short stint with the New York Jets after Seattle cut him 3 years ago.
He's a soldier, by the way, but go ahead.
Yes, he is. He's the chosen one.
He's a soldier.
Well, anyway, this whole thing started when Antonio Cromartie joined a bunch of reporters who were interviewing fellow Jets cornerback Dee Milliner and proceeded to ask him about his chances of making the team on air. Kellen Winslow Jr. took offense to that and went to the bane of all professional athletes these days, namely Twitter. Quote, "Cromartie is one of the biggest posers I have ever seen and played against. Probably the last guy I would take down an alley with me." In a follow-up tweet, he said, "Worry about yourself, Crow. Stop talking. You're not even close to the best. You got bad feet and are scared to jam." So, Antonio Cromartie did not let any of that slide and responded to Kellen Winslow Jr. with the following tweet, quote, "You wish you were as good as your dad. Have you been to Target lately?" Of course, this is referring to the incident where Kellen Winslow Jr. was allegedly caught masturbating in a Target parking lot.
Wow.
Winslow then replied, "We should get in the ring. I would pay money to watch that."
Oh my God, we should get in the ring. Have you been to Target? I didn't even know that, and it was still funny before I even heard the story about him doing that at Target. That's pretty scary.
Kind of like asking Pee Wee Herman if he's been to a theater lately.
Yeah, no doubt. That's exactly like asking Pee Wee Herman if he's been to a theater lately. Cromartie, I think he made a mistake there. I think he said Cromartie is slow to jam. I think what he means is Cromartie likes to slow jam. That's what I think. Because Cromartie, he's a slow jammer. He likes this. He likes to jam it slow.
Well, he has so much more free time to talk to the media now that he's finally memorized his kids' names.
Oh.
Because we all know that because Antonio Cromartie, he likes the slow jam. Oh yeah, that's him. That's why he has 10 kids at this age of 3. Because he likes the slow jam. He's not slow to jam, people. He likes the slow jam. Little Marvin Gaye for you there.
Is that like
Yeah.
slow clapping it out?
Where else are you going to hear Marvin Gaye on an NFL show?
God.
To get slow clapping out.
He might get the slow clap. I bet he's got the slow clap and then some. But, wow. So Troy Cromartie, slow to jam, and Kellen Winslow apparently really likes Target. And, they have a lot of nice bargains. But I've never been that excited by the bargains.
Does make me smile. All these players with a very big mouth who have played for teams like the Jets, San Diego, and Cardinals. Please tell me, what have you done with your professional career? Because I haven't noticed anything yet.
I just can't care how much he likes Target. I mean, he should be a spokesman for Target. I really like your sales.
Bullseye.
Well, he hit the bullseye.
Awesome. Well, I saw the bullseye. What am I supposed to do? More Target practice. Okay.
Just as an aside, I'd hate to be a security guard at Target because you're walking around wearing the Target on your left breast. If somebody was coming in with a gun.
Oh my God.
All the goods are knocked off. Shocking.
Woo! Yes, we're already into shooting people, and it's the first quarter. Oh well.
Well, it's the off season. We gotta have something to do.
We gotta have something going. Will, thank
It's a
you so
miracle.
much. Oh, Will, fantastic first quarter as always. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick break. This is the end of the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
We're going to take a short station identification. We'll be back talking a little Seahawk news about 4 players that are having some contract discussion.
You're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Every second of it.
And now it's time for a 12th Man Fan Jam 60-second rant.
You know you make me wanna
Rant.
I don't want to get off on a rant here.
Summer. Good weather, barbecues, but no football. We're getting towards the dead time in the football season or off season. OTAs are done. There's one last mini camp, and then there's nothing for 6 weeks. I suppose I could amuse myself by watching the Mariners. No. I suppose I could take up a hobby, read a book, watch a movie, learn to skydive. No. Sadly, for those of us who just cannot get enough of football, who just wait all year for football season to start, this is the roughest time of year. But take heart. The days will pass. They'll start getting shorter again. The weather will cool down. The barbecues will be put away. And Seattle will finally take the field once again. And if you're like me, you'll agree. That day cannot come soon enough. Go Hawks! Soon.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Yes, welcome to the second quarter of the 12th Man Fan Jam show, the show that asks you to just do it! Especially if you're Shia LaBeouf, but we won't go into that now. We are going to discuss now some Seahawk news recently. There are 4 players in particular that we're going to talk about during this second quarter, some contract issues, and we'll start first with Bruce Irvin. Bruce Irvin has been told that they will not pick up his option after this season. Bruce Irvin was looking to make between $7 and $8 million. Bruce Irvin was not very happy, apparently. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we'll start with Mark. Mark, when you heard they were going to pick up his option, did you think it was the end of Bruce Irvin in Seattle, or did you think they're still going to try to re-sign him, or what were your thoughts?
Well, it's it could be the end. I mean, I did read that Pete, they're interested in keeping him. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. He's not, excuse me, he's not worth, that option money. And really, I think a good chunk of this, as it will be in Bennett's case, is that he's a victim of timing because we got Wilson and Wagner, and they're just a much bigger deal, obviously. So
Sure.
I think it's a combo of the timing, and he's been a good player, but he's not irreplaceable. So that's just kind of how I see it.
Will, immediately after this happened, Bruce did what Bruce usually does, and he goes right to Twitter. And I think the young man does this before he thinks, because I've seen his tweets a couple times, and I think it's a case where he comes on before he is ready. Bruce will do what Bruce does, and he runs to Twitter and he tweets before he thinks. And I think he was upset. Obviously, he's thinking that they're not going to pay him $7-8 million. I wouldn't be happy either. What was your reaction when you heard his anger kind of come out? And then what happened in Atlanta? We'll get to that. Will, when he kind of told an Atlanta news source something about he wanted to be in Atlanta next year or whatever, what did you think of that whole fiasco?
Well, the man has no filter. I mean, he's since come out and said, yeah, I would love to stay in Seattle. Yeah, right, damage control. I think these defensive players obviously had a great deal of affection for Dan Quinn.
Hello?
Hello.
Whoa, sorry.
Okay.
Irvin, I think, really wants to be in Atlanta. I think he likes Dan Quinn. He can get a good contract there. And my first reaction was, you know what? I hope he goes out, plays lights out this year, signs a huge contract with Atlanta or somebody else in 2016, and gives us a third-round comp pick in 2017.
That's pretty good. Hey, Matt.
Yes.
What did you think of all that Atlanta thing? Because I'll tell you, my take is a little different than everybody else's. There are people ready to run him out on the rail. There are people that were ready to, say he's a traitor and all this. But have you ever heard this actual interview? Because I have not.
I haven't heard the interview, no. But I know that Pete said stuff about the interview, that it was or whatever it was, and they've all said that, and I know John and Pete have all said they would like to work out a longer term deal with Irvin, but I have to agree with Mark. He's a victim of timing and trying to do the well, in which case I shall simply head off to Atlanta, if you like, almost threatening Seahawks with this impending fact that he's going to leave. Well, that's not the right time to do it either, because if they're not going to extend your option in one hand when they could, threatening to leave on the other is not helping. It's for me, I agree also with Will. He doesn't have a filter when it comes to expressing, that raw emotion. I suppose it must be very difficult for somebody to understand that when you receive the message that says the team will not be taking your option, that actually what that translates into your mind is they don't want me. What you've got to get into your head, though, actually, is what that is we can't commit to you now. I'm trying to sign Wilson and I'm trying to sign Wagner. And to be fairly honest, Irvin, if it comes between the choice of the two, you ain't going to get put to the front of the queue. You've got to bear in mind, what was his sack? He's average sack 5.5, something like that. He's a situational guy. That's great. That's fantastic. But he's not a Wagner and he's not a Wilson. So I'm afraid you've got to wait in the queue, Mr. Irvin.
Tom, do you think he gets $7 or $8 million a year out there somewhere?
He could. I mean, look what they did with crap. Brain just shut down. One day the Eagles spent $63 million. Maxwell. Yeah. He's a good player, but he's not an $8 million player at this point.
Yeah, fair enough. Guys, I'm in the minority in this, but here's the thing for me: when you're in Atlanta and you're running some kind of sports show like this guy in Atlanta was doing, and they're excited to have Dan Quinn. They're having a guy that, has this great defense, this legendary, wonderful NFL defense. He's coming to our town. And then there's a disgruntled player on the team he used to be on. And this guy happens to be from the Atlanta area and is in watching the Atlanta Hawks, and he obviously loves the city of Atlanta. To me, I have to hear this interview. I would not be surprised if this was spun a little bit more than what we all think. And until I hear the interview in its entirety, I got to think that this isn't all on Irvin. I got to think this is a guy going, don't you want to play for the Falcons? Or is he saying, do you want to come to Atlanta? Well, yeah, he loves Atlanta. He loves coming to Atlanta. I'll be here next year. He was at a Hawks game. Maybe he's like, hey, I'll be here next year, meaning I'll be at a Hawks game next year. I'd like to hear this interview because I think it came out way bad. However, if that's the case, Bruce should have immediately gone to his precious Twitter and said something. But I'm just not.
Nicked it, yeah.
He should have nipped it sooner. But I'm just not sold that a station from Atlanta who has a team that's, trying to be better would love to have a guy that played in 2 Super Bowls. And so you kind of spin it so it looks like he wants to come here. I don't know.
Doesn't his family live in Atlanta as well?
Well, yeah. Okay, he loves Atlanta. That's fine. I have no problem with him loving Atlanta. And he loves the Hawks, a basketball team. Good for him. He was excited. It was playoff time. The city's probably Hawks crazy because they were really, really good this year in basketball. So he's probably caught up in the fever going, man, I love Atlanta. I can't wait to come back next year. I'll be here next year. Maybe he was talking about going to a basketball game.
It very well could be.
Yeah, so I'm just not sold. But anyway,
well,
let's move on. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, all I would say, Moses, is that the Seahawks organization, which has an awful lot of staff and an awful lot of money, needs to put a little bit more investment and time and money into maybe media relations with some of these players. Because if you're going to go into a media scrum or any media situation and say, oh yeah, I'm going to be here next year, you've got to understand that that's going to be taken in many ways, and the most likely way it's going to be taken is the fact that you believe you're going to be playing there. I think the Seahawks need to put a little bit of, because we have a lot of these sort of incidences where they're not sure what they should be saying on Twitter, or should they be having to apologize on Twitter, or having to all of that. The Seahawks can invest a bit of time in media training for these people.
I agree. Speaking of someone who needs some media training, Michael Bennett. We need some media training. Just signed an 8-year deal. Right?
4-year deal.
4-year deal.
Yeah, I got 8 on my mind. 4-year deal. 4-year deal worth $28.5 million, roughly $8 million a year, give or take a few $100,000 here or there. And then the second deal is asking for more money. Mark, your thoughts on this situation?
Well, anytime a player makes a comment that's serious enough to make Pete Carroll stop chewing his gum, I know it's an issue.
I agree.
Again, it's just like, seriously, I mean, $8 million, I didn't even know until, just a moment ago what exactly he was getting. That sounds more than fair. He's a great player, but again, it's just like, we got Wilson and Wagner, and those two are still more important. And I don't know. It's, we'll see. We'll just see what happens. But the guy, he's a great player, but as you mentioned, man, it's just the timing of all these comments and contract demands. And I don't know, maybe he purposefully did it. And I don't know if he's trying to force his way out, but sometimes the guys, they got the ring and then they try and just take more money elsewhere. So we'll see.
Well, he didn't pick the best year of his career to come off of this. Now, I know he's still a very formidable defensive lineman, but if he gave us back $100,000 every time he jumped off sides this year, he'd be owing us money, wouldn't he?
Well, actually, that's an excellent point. It's like,
yeah.
That and the bicycle rental fees are killing him, probably. That's why he needs some money. But the thing with Bennett is, I mean, he's been able to go to the market 2 years in a row. I mean, when he left Tampa Bay, okay, he had to sign the 1-year prove-it deal. He proved it. He got the ring. And then he had a chance to go into free agency again, and rather than do that, he decided not to go into free agency and re-signed here for a decent contract. It's not Ndamukong Suh kind of contract, but it's still good.
So good.
He's not getting anything. So no. I can't believe he expects to get something. So that's just the strange thing about this is you just signed this deal. We've got a lot of guys to re-sign.
Yeah.
Why does he even think that this could possibly work? And I honestly don't think he's going to hold out or anything like that. But it's a strange stance to take. That's for sure.
I agree. Matt, of course, this is a guy, Matt, that wanted to put Moses beard and wound up Moses bread on the internet on Twitter.
Well, do you think he's worth more money because of that? Or what?
We should have a skit with Moses Brad. I think we need to come out with that, but we'll do that later.
let's be honest, he's a great player, and I think he's fantastic. I think he's got every right to express the feeling that he feels he hasn't got the deal he wanted. I think he should sack his agent because his agent's just got him that deal a year ago, so I think he needs to get rid of him because clearly his agent didn't know what he was doing because he hasn't got the deal that Bennett feels he should have. He's paid 14th of his position. He wants to be top 10. Tough, to be honest. I don't, I'm not happy when players hold out any time, including OTAs, to be frank. But whatever, really. And if I was Pete, I would calmly keep chewing my gum because you've got less than a snowball hope in hell's chance of getting a raise, Mr. Bennett. I'm afraid.
I agree. Tom, do you ever watch any baseball?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there was a guy at Oakland A's named Ricky Henderson, and Ricky Henderson
had his rookie card.
Okay, so Ricky Henderson had this situation a lot like Bennett. He felt like he should get paid more money because he had a better year. And this female reporter asked him, I don't know who it was, and I don't think she ever was able to see the light of day again. It was the most brilliant question I ever heard. She looked Ricky Henderson right in the face, and she said, well, answer me this. If you had an off year, would you negotiate down? And he changed the subject. Is this what we're seeing there?
My thought is, look, if you didn't like the contract, you shouldn't have put your name to it. You're in the middle of a contract. You're stuck. If you didn't like that original deal, you should have never signed on the dotted line.
I agree.
Although, just to say, contracts in the NFL are a strange thing because teams don't seem to honour contracts very well either. Players don't seem to honour contracts either. So, maybe Goodell, in all his powerful wisdom, can come up with a way of being able to make contracts mean something.
But he does so much now.
Yeah, but teams don't usually cut players after 1 year of a 4-year contract either. I mean, there's a disincentive for doing that because they'd get hit with a pretty bad cap charge. So it's not like the team could just say, "Oh, okay, you're gone," and not pay a penalty for that either.
Wow. Well said.
Absolutely, but the thing is that if you're going to sign these contracts, then sign these contracts for what they mean, because otherwise it's just you end up with this horse trading. Because to be frankly honest, every member on the team can stand up at any time and say, "Actually, I want more money." Well, you're in a contract. Tough luck. Have a great day. Or put a period on it or something. The last year is the only year you can ever request more money.
Yeah, I don't think that would ever happen. I don't think the Players Association would ever let that happen. But you never know.
Yeah, especially with what they did with Lynch.
Right.
It's basically the same contract. They just move more money forward.
Right. Well, two guys that came out of that wonderful draft that Bruce Irvin also came out of, and they're Bobby Wagner and Russell Wilson. Their times are coming, and of course, it's been publicly made that they are trying to renegotiate both of these guys. We'll start with Bobby Wagner, and I'm going to throw some numbers. We're not usually numbers people on this show, but I'm going to throw some numbers out at you here. Here's a list of the average yearly salaries of linebackers. This is taken from a site called Spot Track, which is really good. It has all the contract information. It's not the most official, accurate thing in the world, but it's a really good site, and it at least gives you an idea. And if you look at this list, you got Justin Houston, who's a sack machine at 13.1, Clay Matthews at 12. Almost 13. Jared Allen at 12.5. Julius Peppers at 12. Von Miller is at 9.7. Will, where do you think we should expect a reasonable number for Bobby Wagner based on what you see on this list?
Well, the guys on that list are all outside linebackers, pure pass rushers.
True.
And that's always going to get the premium. I mean, anybody who can rush the passer is going to get the big bucks.
Sure.
It's hard to tell with Wagner just because he and Kuechly are both up for can renegotiate new deals, I think. Kuechly got the 5th-year options.
I believe so.
But I think with Wagner, I think it's definitely going to be. I think it could be around 8 a year, maybe.
Okay. So you're thinking 8? Matt, does that sound pretty good? About 8?
I think that sounds very good. I was expecting more about 9.5. But yeah, ultimately, I think again this is one of those deals which comes before people like Irvin, and definitely comes before Bennett's reconsideration.
Mark, did we find out how important Bobby Wagner is to this defense last year?
I mean, the guy's been a key player since he suited up and was starting. I mean, the guy's been remarkable. He calls the signals. I mean, he's the captain of that defense, and so he has some leverage in this. I actually think, well, it's hard to guess a figure again with Wilson and everybody else, but after Wilson, he's the next priority. So I would say at a minimum, he's looking at 8 per year and maybe closer to 9, maybe even a shot at 10. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. Tom, what do you think? 8?
Yeah.
10?
I was thinking between 8 and 10.
Yeah. Probably more toward 10.
What he does, when he went out last year, you saw what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then the minute he came back, it's like night and day.
Yeah. And shocking because, all we hear about is the Legion of Boom. And, we knew that Bobby Wagner was an amazing player, but I think last year really showed how amazing he was. So now we go, of course, to the big news, which is our quarterback. He signed a deal. He hasn't signed a deal. They're talking. They're not talking. There's a 16-page letter sent to the Seahawks. It just, it's going to happen. I think we're all hoping this off-season, but whether it does or not, he is signed through next year. And remember, either one of these guys, technically we can hold them for 4 years if we so chose, because they're signed to next year, and I think there are 3 years in a row you can use a franchise on a player. So worst case scenario, one of these guys could be with our team for 4 years without a contract. I don't think that'll happen, but there's no reason to panic. All 4 of these guys we're talking about are under contract for next year, but there's some grumblings. So here's a list of the quarterbacks and their average salaries. Rodgers at 22, Roethlisberger 21.8, Cam Newton just signed a deal, made him over 20, Matt Ryan's over 20, Flacco's over 20, Breeze is 20, and then Kaepernick is 19. Well, of course, there's all those crazy, if he, I don't know, all kinds of bonuses. And Romo is at 18, just to kind of give you a real overview. Mark, where do you think we should expect the average for Russell to be?
Wow, he's a unique case for any number of reasons. 3rd-round pick, but unprecedented success and already a Super Bowl winner. At the very least, he's going to match Cam, probably exceed it. I don't think he'll exceed Rodgers or I don't know about Roethlisberger. You can make the argument that he should, but the guy is key, and this is where the front office may have to bend a bit on their cap salary kind of philosophy that's worked really well. But if there's any position worth it, any player that's worth it, it's Russell Wilson. He has a lot of leverage, so I'd expect him to match, maybe slightly exceed Cam Newton at the end of the day, and I'm hoping it gets done before September, because I think he needs that peace of mind. The franchise needs that peace of mind that this thing's put to bed and everybody can relax. So we'll see what happens.
I agree with you, Tom. Where do you see him getting average?
That's what I from everything you heard, that 26-page letter, which we have no idea what's in that. I'm guessing 20, maybe 22. Yeah. I can't see him exceeding much. I don't see him over Rodgers. I don't think he's there yet.
But he's already been to more Super Bowls than Rodgers.
Yeah, yes, I understand that, but so just
it's hard. It's
one of those situations where he's such a. I mean, he's a combination of Fran Tarkenton and all these other great players. Just his escapability is just unreal.
It is, and Matt is another guy that was drafted that year. And we're not talking about the Rookie of the Year, but we're talking about the Rookie of the Year was of course Robert Griffin III, but we're talking about Andrew Luck, similar situation, and Andrew Luck of the Colts, similar situation.
What's he won? I'm sorry. What's he win again?
Nice.
But Andrew Luck is a huge, important part of that team, and that team has won double-digit victories, and they would not without him.
No, he's a huge, important part of Indiana. That's about it. I mean,
now.
But it is. He wins nothing.
I tell you this, if they don't have him, they go from 11-5 to 5-11. Can we say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Is he worth 20 million?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Well, I guess what I'm asking is this:
regular season, yes. Postseason, no.
Should we be concerned about what's going on in Indy because these guys are both facing the same point of their careers? Should we be concerned of what is happening in Indy with Luck, or should we just...
No. The reason being is I think the agents Look, I think there's something unique happening in Seattle. It seems very strange for me that a quarterback is not going to take a deal. I remember he may have been offered 20. Who knows what he's been offered? It's all.
Sure.
Has he been offered anything at all? But if he was offered 20, he'd be a fool not to take it, because right now he's going to be working this year. What's he on this year? 1.8 million tops?
Something like that.
1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5 million. I mean, no one's going to turn around and drop that sort of money.
No.
It's crazy, and to be honest, it's perceived value, and the media has a part to play in this, because the media have made him out to feel that he's not quite an elite quarterback yet. When you're having discussions about elite quarterbacks, you're talking Aaron Rodgers, you're talking Peyton Manning, you're talking the Chief from the Patriots. All of these people are on the big money. That's where they have a level, and that's where the media put them. Russell's not on that level, so those sort of discussions aren't happening for him. I think personally he's going to be offered about 20 million, but I think it's a unique situation. I think Luck will be a far more standard contract process, put it that way.
All right, fair enough. Will, pay the man, right? How much?
Well, I saw an article from Danny O'Neill, 710 ESPN, where it said that Seattle's offer was in the Ben Roethlisberger range, so up around 21 points.
That's good.
I think the biggest issue with this negotiation right now is this fourth year, where he's only set to make $1.5 million. Cam Newton got a contract extension, but his last year of his current deal, he would have had like $15 million, something like that. When Andrew Luck gets an extension, the last year of Wilson's deal, on the other hand, is just a third-round quarterback salary. So even if he gets 22 million a year in new money, the average value of the deal is going to be skewed because he's getting so little money in 2015. And I think that's part of the reason why he and the agent are shooting for the moon, and part of the reason why the team is holding back right now. Yeah. I think something gets done. I would pay him an average of 22 million a year and $1. So he gets the symbolic, he's got the biggest contract in the league, maybe bump up the guarantees a little bit. But I honestly think this gets done before the season starts, because if Russell Wilson plays out his deal, he's going to get a big contract eventually, but that's a lot of signing bonus money that he could have gotten in 2015 that's just not going to come.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, we've discussed the contracts, but now it's time for a special 2-minute warning.
Holy shit, it's a 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning that the posse was not aware of, and I'm aware of that. I'm going to be particularly evil tonight because we are going to play a little game that I like to call There Can Be Only One. That's right, we're going to have to choose. No. There can be only one, gentlemen. Now, before we start, we want to make it perfectly clear that all 4 of these players that we're talking about will be Seahawks next year, but in a post-apocalyptic world where we cannot sign all of these gentlemen, and we have to let one go because they're disgruntled or because their contract runs out or whatever, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start with Mark. Mark, there can be only one.
There can be only one.
Oh my.
Bruce Irvin or Michael Bennett? Who do
you still got to keep, despite both of their their public approaches, you got to keep Bennett and let Irvin go.
All right. He goes with Irvin. Well, you can only have one. There can only be one. Bruce Irvin or Michael Bennett?
Michael Bennett in a heartbeat. We saw what happened in the Super Bowl when our defensive line depth was depleted too much.
Well done. Matthew, there can be only one. Bruce Irvin or Michael Bennett?
I would keep Bennett in a second.
Wow. Everybody going with Bennett. Tom, you going to go with Bennett also?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I kind of like Bruce because I think he's really improved, but I think we have more depth at linebacker, and I agree. Defensive line more important. I keep Bennett as well. Now comes the fun one, Will.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
There can only be one.
There can be only one.
Oh my.
Russell Wilson or Bobby Wagner?
I love Wagner. Got to go with Wilson. One thing that wasn't brought up about Seattle's defensive resurgence last year, getting Wagner back was a huge help. Cam Chancellor also got healthy around that same time.
Yes,
I think
yes.
we can absorb the loss of Wagner, as difficult as that would be, better than we can absorb the loss of a franchise quarterback.
Right, and we won't have to. Mark, there can only be one.
Well, it's by default, it's the QB position. We absolutely need him. If you lose Wilson, you lose the franchise. You become the 49ers. So you keep Wilson.
Tom, there can only be one. Russell Wilson or Bobby Wagner.
Wilson all day long.
Yep, fair enough. Matt, you with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a franchise quarterback, and I think for a team that's never had a franchise quarterback, we realize how special that is, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially
all right.
Looking at the quarterbacks coming out of college these days. It ain't pretty.
God. No, and God willing, we won't have to worry about losing any of those four, but we'll see. And that's the end of the second quarter.
Holy shit, it's halftime.
We're going to head into halftime for another rousing rendition of halftime, 12th Man Fan Jam halftime trivia. We're going to take a quick station identification, and we will be right back.
Hey, this is Matt, all the way from merry old England, and you're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12th Man Fan Jam halftime trivia with your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, and welcome to another rousing rendition of 12th Man Fan Jam halftime trivia, the game that challenges our posse in their knowledge of the Seattle Seahawks. I'd like to introduce the posse one more time. The first is our special guest this evening. It is Tom. Hi, Tom.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
We got Will. Hi, Will, the defending champ.
Good evening.
Got Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hey, everyone. The smart money's still on Matt.
And Matt is also playing this evening. So here's how the trivia game works. There will be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there will be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tied players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12th Man Fan Jam Trivia Champion and gets to have a special 60-second rant between the first and second quarter of the very next episode of the 12th Man Fan Jam Show. As an added bonus to those listeners on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen, so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well if you wish. If you'd like to play along, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline for each of the contestants. Before the taping of this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take this quiz. And if the contestants want to know what the kids said, they may ask that only once during the entire game show and only during the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12th Man Fan Jam Trivia. Here we go, gentlemen. I need numbers between round 1, 1, and 4. And these are all Seahawk-related questions. All 8 of them are Seahawk-related questions. So
that don't mean nothing, fellas.
That don't mean nothing. Tom, you are our guest. You get the first pick. 1, 2, 3, or 4?
3.
Tom picks 3. Will is our reigning champ. You get the next one.
I'll take 1.
Matt, because you're English, you get the next one.
I'll take 2.
And then Mark has 4. Because he lives in California. Okay, here we go. Remember, you can't ask for the children at any time. All right. Play 12th Man Fan Jam halftime trivia. Question 1 goes to Will. Will, are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
Oh, Will's ready as he will ever be. All right. Will, your question is this. What quarterback has won the most games for the Seattle Seahawks? Who's won the most games for the Seattle Seahawks? Is it Matt Hasselbeck, Dave Craig, or Jim Zorn? Hey, Will! How about some Morgan, buddy?
I am going to go with Matt Hasselbeck.
Oh, all right. He goes with Matt Hasselbeck. So did the kids. Both of them. But you're both wrong. You're all three wrong. Dave Craig by 1. Dave Craig has won 70 games. Matt Hasselbeck has won 69 games. It was that close.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
and there were 8 more that Craig fumbled away, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Question 2 goes to Matt. Matt, are you ready?
I am.
All right, Matt. Which running back had the most fumbles in a Seahawk uniform? Most fumbles. Sean Alexander, Kurt Warner, or Chris Warren? Most fumbles by a Seahawk player. Running back. Because we all know Dave Craig had like 80. So 80. We won't go there. Yeah.
That's a good question. I'll go. What did the kids say?
The kids both said Kurt Warner.
Really?
And I think Little Mo said Kurt Warner because he doesn't like the quarterback. But, that's another story.
I was going to say that were they confused? Okay. Well, I'll go with the kids, Kurt Warner. Let's see what they say with the right.
Matt just goes with the kids.
Yeah.
Matt, you can't go with the kids anymore, by the way. However, in this case, you got it right. Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner 36 times, Sean 31, Chris Warren 26. So Matt is on the board. We go to question 3 with Tom. Tom, you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, Tom, your question is this. How many players have caught more than 400 passes for the Seattle Seahawks? How many players have caught more than 400 passes for the Seahawks? Tom, here's some more we're going to think.
And no multiple choice.
Oh, yeah, you want answers? How about that? No, you're the new guy. You have to tell us. No.
Way to screw over the guest.
I know. Is it 4 or 5 or 6? I'm sorry. How many players have caught more than 400 balls for the Seahawks? 4, 5, and 6. And you have to name them. No, I'm kidding. 4, 5, or 6.
I'm going to go right in the middle at 5.
It goes with 5. Little Mo said 5. Mosette said 4. It's 4.
Yeah.
Largent, Blades, John L. Williams, and Daryl Jackson are the 4 that have caught 400 or more passes for Seattle. Okay, we are now to question 4, and that is Mark. Mark, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
And as usual, Mark has no organ. Okay, who has caused more safeties than any other player for the Seahawks? Who's been credited with more safeties than any other player for the Seahawks? Orlando Huff, Rod Stevens, or Antonio Edwards? I'll give you a clue. One of them has done it twice.
I actually know this one.
Oh, that's scary. One of them's done it twice. The other ones have done it once. Orlando Huff, Rod Stevens, or Antonio Edwards. Who's been credited with more safeties than any other player?
Wow. Jeez. I mean, those are 3 names that, stimulate nothing.
Hence no organ.
Yeah.
Jeez. Boy, I don't practice huffing myself, but I'll go with Orlando Huff. I don't know.
He went with Huff. The kids went with Stevens and Edwards after they said who. You went with Huff. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Rod Stevens has 2. Everyone else has 1. So that was a rough session. Matt got his right. Everyone else did not. So we are down 1-0.
Matt can guess and get them right.
Matt, yeah.
It's not over yet.
It's not. It's definitely not. Matt.
8. Yes.
5 through 8. Give me a number.
7.
7. Returning champ Will.
5.
Our guest Tom.
8.
And that leaves 6 for Mark. All right, here we go. Question 5 is for Will. If you remember, question 1 was about Dave Craig and Matt Hasselbeck and quarterbacks, right? And, of course, we all know Dave Craig went to Milton College, and we all know Milton College doesn't exist anymore. But
I didn't.
Will, what state was Milton College in? Was it Delaware, Idaho, or Wisconsin? Where was Milton College? Delaware, Idaho, or Wisconsin?
Dave Craig just looks like somebody who went to college in Wisconsin. I'm going to go with that one.
I love it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You let us into your minds and you let us know what you're thinking for your answer. You said Wisconsin.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah. Mosette and Lil Mo said Delaware. You said Wisconsin. It's Wisconsin. Woohoo! And that means that Will has a point. All right, question 6 for Mark. Mark, Kurt Warner was the answer to number 2. And Kurt Warner, of course, went to Penn State, and Penn State's known as the Nittany Lions. Mark, what does the Nittany and Nittany Lions stand for? Is it a city, a mountain, or a former head coach? What in the world does Nittany for Nittany Lion mean? A city, a mountain, or a former head coach?
Oh boy! Wow. Well, there's a lot of things that come to mind when you think of Penn State now.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Well, to some people's minds, anyway.
I'm waiting for the Jeopardy music.
Let's see, a city, a mountain, or a former coach?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh boy. Holy cow! Let's see. You know, I'm going to go coach because there's some poor soul out there with that name. I'll go coach.
Joe Nittany. You said coach. Mosette said coach. Little Mo said mountain. And, yeah, you should have gone with Little Mo.
Yep.
Mount Nittany. Who knew? But,
I did.
Yeah, Nittany Lions is a mountain lion. Who knew?
The only reason I knew that is because I was from there.
Oh, see, well, there you go.
Yeah,
Matt.
These California public schools always just kill me in this trivia.
Sorry, Mark.
I grew up about 2 hours away from there, so
you're well aware of that. That would have been a great one for you to get. Matt, this one's a great one for you.
No,
You're
it's
gonna love
not.
this one. Yeah, it is. Matt, you know what I want to know is what jersey number did Steve Largent wear at the University of Tulsa?
Oh, I was about to say a really bad word then.
Yeah. Was it 80? Was it 82 or 83? What number did Largent wear at the University of Tulsa?
Do you know that moment? You know that moment when your brain and everything is about to say something like, and you have to physically just eat it back in again.
Yeah, we all know 80,
Oh, no.
obviously. But what number did he wear at the University of Tulsa? Was it 80, 82, or 83?
I have absolutely no idea.
And you can't ask the kids because you asked them first round.
Yeah, this is true. I can't ask the kids
Yeah.
either. Okay, I think he probably wore 80.
Oh, he probably wore 80. Well, Little Mo said 80, and Mosette said 83. You should have gone with 83. He wore 83 in college. Also retired at Tulsa, of course, not surprisingly.
I had a guy in my section at CenturyLink that had a Steve Largent Tulsa jersey for a couple of years.
That's sweet. Was it 83?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. So you would have got that one. Everybody's getting the wrong one they should get.
Pretty much.
Okay, Tom. Let's see if we can get you on the board here, Tom.
right.
Rod Stevens was the answer to number 4. So my question about Rod Stevens is Matt's favorite question. What college did Rod Stevens play for? Is it Georgia, Georgia Tech, or Auburn? Rod Stevens.
Oh, God.
What do you middle linebacker? I'm thinking middle linebacker. Is that right? Like 94 or something like that? Yeah. Georgia, Georgia Tech, or Auburn?
God, what do the kids say? Might as well use it.
He's going with the kids. Okay, Mosette said Georgia Tech, and Little Mo said Auburn.
Damn. I'll go Auburn. I'm guessing. I have
You'll go
no
Auburn.
idea.
And yes, they were too, by the way. I don't know if you're shocked by that, but well,
figured.
the answer is Georgia Tech. Mosette got it right. Little Mo didn't. All right, so here we stand at the end of regulation. No, we're all good. Will and Matt have a point. Mark and Tom don't, but do not fret, for the next question is worth 2 mighty points. So somebody is going to win after the final question. And what we'll do, as we've been doing, is we'll do it in reverse order. We'll take it will go Mark, Tom, Matt, and Will. So we'll go with Mark's first answer, then Tom, and then Matt, and then Will. And of course, as always, it's a number game. So here is my question. And my question is this: how many yards does Marshawn Lynch need to take over second place on the Seahawk career rushing list? How many yards does Marshawn Lynch need to take over second place on the Seahawk career rushing list as far as yardage? And he has not been here very long, so you have to think about that as well. How many yards, Mark, how many yards do you think Marshawn Lynch needs to take over second place on the Seahawk career rushing list?
Oh, wow. Holy cow. I have no idea. Oh, geez. I don't know.
A lot of great runners over the years.
Yeah, I don't even know where the I have no idea. Well, I guess Alexander's number one. Jeez, boy, I don't know. For some reason, I could see this being relatively low. I'm gonna say 1,100.
1,100. All right. Next is Tom. Tom, how many yards does Marshawn Lynch need to take over second place on the career rushing list for Seahawks?
I'm gonna go 2,000.
It's gonna go 2,000. Matt, how many yards does Marshawn Lynch need to take over second place on the Seahawk career rushing list?
How much did Mark say? What was his number?
Mark said 1,100. Tom said 2,000. And you, my friend, one thing you get, some Morgan, baby.
Well, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go under Mark. I think that's too high. So I'm gonna go 700.
Matt goes 700. Okay. Will, how many yards do you think Marshawn needs to take over second place in career rushing list for Seahawks? We have 700, we have 1,100, and we have 2,000. And you get Oregon.
Are we just counting yards he's rushed for in a Seahawk uniform, or his total career yards in Buffalo?
Yes.
Just Seahawks. Okay.
Yes.
If it's just Seahawks, I'm going to go 2,100.
He goes 2,100. Okay. The amount of yardage that Marshawn Lynch needs to get to second place on the all-time Seahawk rushing list is 777. Which means once again, our favorite Brit, Matt from merry old England, is taking home the prize of 12th Man Fan Jam Halftime Trivia Champion. Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome. Once again, a Brit comes and takes our own game from us. It's crazy. He does it again. It's crazy. 777 yards. Who knew? Apparently Matt did. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, have some top 10 lists. We're going to have some pictures to caption. And we're going to celebrate Matt winning another edition of the 12th Man Fan Jam Trivia Show. So thanks for joining us for another great show. We'll be back after this brief station identification.
You're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
We have great fun recording.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Yes, welcome to the third quarter, the start of the second half of a very special June is busting out all over 2015 edition of your 12th Man Fan Jam show. And we thought we'd take the third quarter, I take the third quarter, and pay homage to a guy who is a fellow Hoosier who retired from show business, David Letterman. David Letterman, I think he was in show business about 87 years or something like that. I'm not sure. But David retired, and of course, David Letterman is known for having lists. And I sat down and thought, how can I pay homage to David Letterman? I thought, well, I know. I could come up with maybe a list. And I was thinking of how many, and I couldn't think. And then I called Will, and I said, how many should I have on Will? And you said, what, like 25 or something? And then I said, no, let's go 10. So I have my own top 10 lists here. So I have two top 10 lists I'd like to share with you for your amusement. So live from our office located in the VMAC is our first top 10. All right, our first top 10 topic is the top 10 things overheard at the Seattle Seahawks Memorial Day cookout. Memorial Day was a couple weeks ago. And not a lot of people know this, but they get together, have a big old cookout, and I happen to be at that cookout. So I overheard some things that I'd like to share with you on that. So the top 10 things overheard at the Seattle Seahawks Memorial Day cookout. And I may actually pull some David Letterman during this. I may actually go, hee-hee, or something like that. So just so you know.
No, don't do that.
I've got a pencil in my hand, too. He always threw a pencil. Okay.
You don't have the gap tooth grin.
I do not. But we have the same orthodontist. So, okay, top 10 things overheard at the Seattle Seahawks Memorial Day cookout. Number 10, the menu included St. Louis lamb, Arizona boneless cardinal wings, and Green Bay we are in your head cheese. So that was something that was the cookout.
We in your head.
We're in your head cheese. Number 9, Marshawn Lynch is just eating so he won't get fined. That's kind of, you had to put that in there. That's kind of obligated. The number 8 thing overheard at the Seattle Seahawks Memorial Day cookout is that Colin Kaepernick rummaging through the garbage. Poor kid.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Kind of low. Number 7. Yeah, Bruce Irvin, we get it. The cookouts at Atlanta are way better.
That's good.
Yeah. The number 6 thing heard at the Seattle Seahawks Memorial Day cookout. Michael Bennett refused to attend until he was given a better parking spot. So he goes every year, and of course this was his deal. Number 5, the lemonade is made from real tears of crying 49er fans.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, the drummer woke up. So the drummer's joining us now. Okay. Number 4, anybody got a toothpick? Marshawn Lynch has a wiener stuck in his grill. I don't know why I went with wiener on that one, but
I don't either.
Yeah, but I did. Number 3 thing overheard at the Seattle Seahawks Memorial Day cookout. No Richard Sherman. We don't know how to put Chucky soup on the grill. I wrote that when I realized all they have to do is put it in a pan, but I'm not going to. Yeah. Number 2.
Moses.
That's okay. I had 10 things. The number 2 thing overheard at the Seattle Seahawks Memorial Day cookout. I know, Coach Carroll. I miss listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam show, too.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
That's the best one, and except for this one, the number 1 thing overheard at the Seattle Seahawks Memorial Day cookout. Hold on. Number
roll.
1 thing. Yeah, drum roll. Hold on. The number 1. I'm going to edit all this, so don't worry about it. Hold on. I want this. I'm going to edit this.
You think?
Yeah. Okay. The number 1 thing overheard at the Seattle Seahawks Memorial Day cookout. Please, Russell Wilson, don't pass the green beans to Ricardo Lockett. Just hand them off to Marshawn Lynch instead.
I had to go there.
I had to go there. But wait, there's a second list. I made two top 10 lists. And this one is with the help of Mark, who of course lives in San Francisco. And this one is the top 10 reasons why players want to leave the 49ers. Top 10 reasons why the players want to leave the San Francisco 49ers. Here we go. Number 10, bus driver to practice is Alden Smith. Yeah, we don't want that. Oh, that's not good. Number 9, Michael Crabtree may have been mediocre, but he was the only guy with a decent locker room playlist. The guy knows his music. He can't catch a ball, but they enjoyed his music. Number 8, former head coach Jim Harbaugh left town without paying the water bill. That just sucks. Can't get a good, shower in San Francisco unless you go to a bathroom.
Never mind.
But, yeah.
Moving on.
Number 7, Jerry Rice keeps invading practices and challenging the wide receivers to a 40-yard dash. He's very old, but he is kind of fast. Number 6 reason why players want to leave the 49ers. Players are tired of having to take turns babysitting Colin Kaepernick every night. You'd have to draw straws and rotation. Like it. Number 5, players are tired of eating nothing but rice-a-roni in the mess hall. That would be, yeah. Number 4, the new coaching staff insist on blasting air supply over the speakers during practice. Can you imagine? Can you just for a second Can you just imagine the air supply? You know, because, I mean, they're trying to go out there and hit people. And, you know, they say, hey, you know, all right, guys, you know, we want you to go out there. We want you to really hit and really make it happen. Hit those guys.
Just do it.
Yeah, that's air supply. They have a best of. Who knew? Okay. What was the topic again? Oh, yeah, the top 10 reasons why the players want to leave the 49ers. Number 5. No?
Wow. Who's drinking?
Number 3. Yeah, I'm drinking. Number 3, practices end with the team gathering at midfield and having a good cry. It's very sad. But that's the way they got to end their practices. Number 2, new 49er coach Tim Tomzulu insists on hugging each player after showering for a really uncomfortably long time.
Thanks for the mental image there.
Yes, finally, the number one reason why players want to leave the San Francisco 49ers, playing the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Seahawks twice a year.
I'm still stabbing my mind's eye with a rusty butter knife.
Yeah. Because of the hugging coach, right?
Use a spoon, it'll hurt more.
Or this whole quarter, who knows? Probably the whole damn quarter. Oh, well. That's my dedication to David Letterman. I promise that'll never happen again as long as this show lives. That's the end of the third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
Thank God.
I was having Halloween haunted house flashbacks.
I knew it was coming. I knew the Halloween thing was coming. Oh my God. Okay, it's the end of the third quarter. And we're going to take a quick station identification. I'm going to burn my list. And we'll come back to fourth quarter, try to caption some pictures. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
All right. Well,
And now it's time for a 12th Man Fan Jam 60-second rant.
you know you make me wanna
Rant.
I don't want to get off on a rant here.
Hello, everybody. This is Statsman Mark with the Seahawks Rant. The Seahawks have enjoyed unprecedented success over the last 3 years, in no small part due to the front office and their savviness concerning the draft and managing the salary cap. The last 3 seasons have seen the Seahawks in the divisional round, their first ever Super Bowl win, and another Super Bowl appearance. Enter Russell Wilson, who's been a key figure and a very important player during the last 3 years during their remarkable run, and who is now due for a significant contract extension. The Seahawks have their success because, as the aforementioned salary cap has kept them, competitive for the last several years. And while it may be uncomfortable for them, I think they have to break the mold, and they need to sign Wilson before the regular season begins in September. That way he and the franchise have peace of mind that future success is ensured. And this is Statsman Mark with a Brick Tamblin like rant.
And now it's time for the fourth quarter of the 12th Man Fan Jam. Here to lead us through the final quarter is once again our host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, welcome back to the fourth quarter of a very special Judas Busting Out All Over 2015 edition of the 12th Man Fan Jam Show. If you're still with us, congratulations, you made it through the third quarter. I'm not so sure about the rest of us. We're going to try to rebound nicely here in the fourth quarter. We're also playing a little goofy game called Caption the Picture. And what we've done is we've taken 6 pictures. I've taken 6 pictures from within the last 12 months in Seattle, Seahawk history. And they're all Seahawk pictures. They're all Seahawk related. And we're going to describe the picture. We'll put the picture up. We'll describe it. And then I will go through each member of the posse that has a caption for that picture. And then I'll give you my surefire wonderful picks. Okay, here we go. The first picture is the infamous fumble by Bostic on the onside kick at the NFC Championship. So the picture of Bostic fumbling that wonderful onside kick in the NFC Championship for Green Bay. And Matt, caption that picture.
Random Bostic proves that he's head and shoulders above Jordy Nelson in the Packers hands team.
Will, caption that picture.
The next day, Brandon Bostic took the black and lived out the rest of his life on the wall.
Oh, Mark, caption that picture. Caption that picture.
Okay, caption. Butterfingers, playoff loss guaranteed.
Tom, caption that picture.
I was actually looking at Jordy Nelson at this one and thought, white men can't jump.
Matt, caption that picture.
In Seattle, it was all cheers, but somewhere in Africa, thousands of people were crying at the thought of having to wear Green Bay Packer jerseys for the next year.
All right, here are mine. Picture of Brian Bostic fumbling the onside kick. My first caption is hitting the Green Bay Packer waiver wire in 3, 2, 1. Meet the author of the new book, Onside Kick for Dummies. And finally, screw you, Jordy Nelson. I'm the star of this game. All right, that's our captions, and we'll be putting these up on our website, on our Facebook page. So you'll want to go on the Facebook page and add your own to that as we move through this. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you how you can participate in these captions yourself. Pick two I dearly love. It is Conan O'Brien, Marshawn Lynch, and Gronk. They were playing a video game, and if you haven't seen that video, it's fantastic. But the look on their face right here is priceless. So I'm going to ask Matt. Matt, caption that picture of Conan O'Brien, Marshawn Lynch, and Gronk.
Conan, Lynch, and Gronkowski are replaying the Super Bowl on Madden. Lynch turns and says to Conan, and then peek through the ball.
Caption that picture, Will.
Conan O'Brien, Marshawn Lynch, and Rob Gronkowski see the cover of this month's Vanity Fair for the first time.
I love it. Mark, caption that picture.
Caption, O'Brien, Lynch, and Gronkowski. Lawyers you'll like.
Tom, caption that picture.
Gronk looked kind of just staring, and my look at that was like, oh my God, Gronk, I didn't know your sister could do that.
Nice. Okay, caption that picture. Oh my God, even in the Madden game, we threw the ball in the end zone. Caption that picture. I didn't expect a new video game, my first proctology, to be so realistic. And finally, Conan and Marshawn find out that pressing square, square, triangle, triangle, left 1, left 2, right 1, right 2, up, up, down, down, takes the clothes off Lara Croft in the latest Tomb Raider video game. All right.
That's good.
Pick 3. This is the staged fight between Irvin and Graham in Hawaii. And that's Cam Chancellor in the center, and I believe Sherm's on one side. So that's the fight pick. And I believe it looks like Matt captioned that picture.
Jimmy, you're not a saint anymore. You don't get paid anything extra to purposely hit Seahawk players.
Will, caption that picture.
Tastes great, less filling. Tastes great, less filling.
Oh. Mark, caption that picture.
Caption, Jimmy Graham fights his adoption tonight at 11.
Oh! Ouch. All right. Me, caption that picture. Fellas, you're both pretty, okay? This picture is still more action than the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. And finally, when Cam passes gas, everyone gets defensive. All right. Pick 4 is was Russell Wilson, Richard Sherman, and Michelle Tafoya eating turkey dinner at the center of the 49ers Stadium. Levi's Stadium. What do they call it over there, Mark? The Blue Jean something?
Someone on here mentioned Skinny Jeans Stadium at some point.
Yeah, that's good. Skinny Jeans. So anyway, they're sitting there eating. And this is the fourth picture, and we're going to start with Matt. Matt, caption that picture.
The one time the 49ers didn't enjoy giving Seattle the bird.
Will, caption that picture.
Russell Wilson, I've got to eat up. I'll need all my strength for my contract negotiations.
Eat your vitamins. Mark, caption that picture.
Caption, better than Ezra and eating crow.
Tom, caption that picture.
Michelle Tafoya. Oh, Russell, I have something that tastes much better than that turkey.
Oh! Woo! Matt, caption that picture.
Wilson, where are all the vegetables? Tafoya. Oh, they're in the 49er changing room.
Oh!
Nice.
Caption that picture. Michelle Tafoya, I knew I didn't need to cook mashed potatoes. Michelle Tafoya, those hands are big. You know what that means. Because she's looking at Russell's hands. And finally, Michelle Tafoya, when I offered Russell Wilson my leg, that's not what I meant. All right, pick 5 is when Tama got loose and attacked some guy in the stadium. Well, he didn't really attack. Okay, he attacked him. He attacked him.
Land on him.
He kind of landed on him. Anyway, Matt, caption this wonderful picture of our Seahawk.
Tama spots somebody that looks like Donald Trump in the crowd and takes appropriate action.
Will, caption this picture.
I told you that 49ers neck tattoo was a bad idea.
Excellent! Mark, caption that picture.
Caption, Seahawk on my shoulder makes me happy.
It's musical!
Love it.
And it's brilliant. Matt, caption that picture.
Tama spotted collecting nesting material, fuels rumours of contract extension.
Oh.
Oh, dear.
Oh. All right. All right. Caption that picture. Squawk! It's a wig! It's a wig! Squawk! Caption that picture. This is what happens when you say Go Niners at a Seahawk game. And finally, caption this picture. Mike knew wearing that mouse-scented hair gel would come back to haunt him someday. All right. The last picture is taken from Clint Gresham, who accidentally, he's our long snapper, of course, and he was snapping the ball to, I believe, a cousin or a nephew or something. And he went to hike it to the little boy, and he went a little high, and the ball popped off the boy's head. And, Clint Gresham joked about it. He was very embarrassed by it, but it was very funny. He shared the video with everybody. So I took a still shot from that where the ball is just starting to careen off the little boy's head, which I thought was a great pick. So, all right, we're going with Will. Will, caption that picture of Clint Gresham.
Gresham's nephew does his best Peyton Manning Super Bowl impression.
Excellent. Mark, capture that picture.
Caption, I forgot all about this picture. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Tom, caption that picture.
William Tell ain't got nothing on me.
All right. Caption that. After hearing the Seahawks drafted a long snapper in the draft, Clint Gresham took his cousin outside to play catch. Wow, the Seahawks are really scouting punters at an early age. And finally, yeah, I've got your long snapper suck right here, little boy. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take these pictures and we're going to put these captions on our Facebook page, 12th Man Fan Jam Show. And I'm going to put who said what. And then there are a couple things that you, the listener, can do if you're still listening. Which, by the way, if you're still listening, God bless you, because
thank you.
After the third quarter, I don't know how you went.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, caption a picture contest. There's a ways to do this. You can either send us a comment through our email, 12thmanfanjam@gmail.com. Put picture 3 or picture 4, or even describe the picture and put your caption. Or I really liked Matt's caption on picture 3 or whatever. You can do that. You can also comment under the pics at the 12th Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page, or you can like, as if you don't feel like you have a good comment and you just want to kind of vote for one, just hit your little thumbs up like at the comment that you like under each picture at the 12th Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page. This will start Wednesday, June 17th. Wednesday, June 17th, we'll kind of roll this out on our Facebook page, and we'll announce some winners, hopefully, on the 12th Man Fan Jam Show episode 307, which will be in a couple weeks. So you have a couple weeks to look at these pictures. We really want to push this. We want you to vote or even come up with your own captions, and we'll all have a vote as well. We'll vote on one probably right before the show to give everyone a chance to have their own captions. So we encourage you, please, if you have not joined the 12th Man Fan Jam Show on Facebook, please do, because that's where we'll have all this. Oh my goodness, guys!
And it's lots of fun on that page.
It is, and Tom would know because Tom is there quite often, and we thank him for being there quite often. We definitely appreciate it, Tom.
What was that laugh about, Maddie?
No, because you are the official king of our Facebook page. Because you just know you get all the material. You're my new top source of material, other than Will.
He's our new media coordinator.
Honestly.
He is our media relations.
Media relations. When you're disabled and stay at home, it gives me something to do.
Well, that brought the room down.
Hey, you know what? I wake up on the right side of the dirt every day. I'm happy.
There you go.
There it is.
And we're all happy that you're here. We're so glad you joined us this evening.
Hey, I always enjoy the invite.
I appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll have you on again soon. It looks like it's time, unfortunately, to bring this edition of the wonderful and amazing 12th Man Fan Jam to a sad close. We are so glad that you've decided to waste some time with us. It was, as usual, a show that raised the bar here at the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, except the third quarter. We certainly hope you laughed a little, and maybe you learned a little something along the way. What did we learn this evening? Well, we learned that Warren Cromartie is slow to jam. We learned that Kellen Winslow really likes Target. We learned that you should just do it. And finally, we learned that I, Moses, will never make a Tom 10 list for the rest of my natural life. So, yes, on behalf of my partner in crime from Merritt Old England, Matt, Statsman Mark, our newshound Shadowhawk Will, and Tom as the Beaver, this is your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity saying, enjoy the rest of your summer and go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Just do
it!
Yeah.